There is power in a band of working men when they stand hand in hand. That's a power that must rule in every land, one industrial union grand. Come all you workers from every land, come join in the grand industrial band. Then we our share of this earth shall demand. Come on, do your share like a man. There is power in a band of working men when they stand hand in hand. That's a power that must rule in every land, one industrial union grand. There are women of many descriptions in this queer world, as everyone knows. Some are living in beautiful mansions and are wearing the finest of clothes. There are blue-blooded queens and princesses who have charms made of diamonds and pearls, but the only and thoroughbred lady is the rebel girl. That's the rebel girl, that's the rebel girl. To the working class she's a precious pearl. She brings courage, pride and joy to the fighting rebel boy. We've had girls before, but we need some more in the industrial workers of the world. For it's great to fight for freedom with a rebel girl. Yes, her hands may be hardened from labor, and her dress may not be very fine, but a heart in her bosom is beating that is true to her class and her kind. And the grafters in terror are trembling when her spite and defiance she'll hurl. For the only and thoroughbred lady is the rebel girl. That's the rebel girl, that's the rebel girl. To the working class she's a precious pearl. She brings courage, pride and joy to the fighting rebel boy. We've had girls before, but we need some more in the industrial workers of the world. For it's great to fight for freedom with a rebel girl. Long-haired preachers come out every night, try to tell you what's wrong and what's right. But when asked how about something to eat, they will answer in voices so sweet. You will eat by and by in that glorious land above the sky. Work and pray, live on hay, you'll get pie in the sky when you die. And the Starvation Army they play, and they sing and they clap and they pray, till they get all your coin in the drum. Then they tell you when you're on the bum. You will eat by and by in that glorious land above the sky. Work and pray, live on hay, you'll get pie in the sky when you die. Holy rollers and jumpers come out, and they holler, they jump and they shout. Give your money to Jesus, they say, he will cure all diseases today. You will eat by and by in that glorious land above the sky. Work and pray, live on hay, you'll get pie in the sky when you die. if you fight hard for children and wife, try to get something good in this life. You're a sinner and bad man, they tell. When you die, you will sure go to hell. You will eat by and by in that glorious land above the sky. Work and pray, live on hay. You'll get pie in the sky when you die. Working men of all countries unite. Side by side we for freedom will fight. When the world and its wealth we have gained, to the grafters we'll sing this refrain. You will eat by and by, when you've learned how to cook and how to fry. Chop some wood, 'twill do you good. Then you'll eat in the sweet by and by, that's no lie. When the Union's inspiration through the workers' blood shall run, there can be no power greater anywhere beneath the sun. Yet what force on earth is weaker than the feeble strength of one? For the Union makes us strong. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. For the Union makes us strong. Is there aught we have in common with the greedy parasite, who would lash us into serfdom and would crush us with his might? Is there anything left to us but to organize and fight? For the Union makes us strong. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. For the Union makes us strong. It is we who plowed the prairies, built the cities where they trade, dug the mines and built the workshops, endless miles of railroad laid. Now we stand outcast and starving midst the wonders we have made, but the Union makes us strong. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. For the Union makes us strong. All the world that's owned by idle drones is ours and ours alone. We have laid the wide foundations, built it skyward stone by stone. It's ours not to slave in, but to master and to own, while the Union makes us strong. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. For the Union makes us strong. They've taken untold billions that they've never toiled to earn, but without our brain and muscle, not a single wheel can turn. We can break their haughty power, gain our freedom when we learn that the Union makes us strong. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. For the Union waste of power greater than their hoarded gold, greater than the might of armies magnified 1,000.
Welcome, budding radicals and curious reactionaries. I am Anthony Fama, your host as always. I originally wasn't going to be doing a stream today because I've been tired and my life, if you've been paying attention to my personal Facebook at all, has been kind of a disaster. But I have a positive update to share with you today. Not too long ago, I was contacted by an organizer with a national entertainment workers advocacy group, and they are actually getting ready to advocate for direct action and general strike. And they wanted to know if I was interested in helping them, which fucking of course, if you've been watching this show, you've got an idea of the harrowing experiences I've had throughout COVID. This show actually started as a call for entertainment workers to organize what I should have called then a town hall. A town hall to gather our needs and demands and call on a complete boycott of any kind of production, TV, television, film, and it looks like people are wanting to demand a walkout of Joe Biden's inauguration, which fuck yes, we should absolutely do. We should absolutely let them start that broadcast and then walk the fuck away and let them figure it out them fucking selves. Because, you know, like I support Save Our Stages. We need to save as many of our stages as we can. But our stages aren't going to do fuck all if any of us people who work them all have to get other careers. Like, I'm looking, my best option is getting a welding certificate, you know, and if I get knee deep in that, like, I'm not going to be able to afford going back to doing corporate events. And, you know, it was hard enough to get into that freelance economy in the first place. So, and people just don't realize this yet, that once we all get washed out of the economy, you don't have anyone to build your fun stuff anymore. And especially the guys that, you know, I know personally that are still doing fucking shows, especially in Arizona or the Southwest in general. You know, people doing events with 17,000 people for a sporting event. Not naming names, but like at a certain point, you're just being a merchant of death. You know, not to be really harsh and Jimmy Dore about it, but you're profiteering. I get we all need to make a living, but we're fucking creative people, aren't we? You know, so I'm looking at all my other side skills for a hustle while I figure out live streaming. We did our first quasi-successful live stream on, you know, this past week with painting fences for musicians, because musicians need a way to sell their merchandise and shit. And that's interacting with people via this platform, you know, and doing it on a scale that's cheap enough for the up-and-coming band to be able to afford. We need to keep these platforms available and accessible. You know, which is why I'm trying to figure out how to do all of this proper production stuff on the cheap. You know, my entire rig, which is a higher end rig than is really necessary for a low deal ditty like this. But, you know, well, I mean, my laptop and then the control surface. But like, I don't need the control surface. I can get away with a $20 Camsys dongle. Regardless, it's time to fucking organize. It is time for us to get together and make demands and stop working. That's where this is getting all spread from all of us having to go to work, you know, especially the idea of like trying to go back to normal. Because if everyone's going to work and acting like it's normal at work, you know, why shouldn't they go to a bar, right? But even if we shut down everything, we can still put everyone to work. That's why we need universal basic income, $2,000 a month minimum for every American, you know, and an extra $1,000 a month for every kid that you've got, you know. And we can put all of these people who can't do their unnecessary jobs right now to work part-time. Like, we can still keep a supply chain going if we all just limit our exposure to these enclosed environments, you know, and just spread the work around to everybody rather than just forcing normal. You know, right now, a lot of socialism is required to solve this problem. New Zealand and Vietnam, but no one's doing it. And they're going to keep refusing to do it as long as all of us little people just keep going along with it. You know, we did the force the vote. You know, that got a lot of media attention, not a lot of media attention, but it got media attention. But that went nowhere. And people need Medicare for all right now. I can't afford to get any kind of fucking sick right now. So this is what we're starting with. We are organizing this national group. I'm not going to, because I'm being rowdy and explicit right now, I'm not going to name names because I'm not going to put that on my little anarcho-syndicalist, mutualist, ideological, introspective channel. But we're going to organize a town hall. And we're going to start by recording our stories and telling our stories of how we were affected by this and how this rug being pulled from under us over and over again this year. So many of us like have had just one calamity after another. One of my dear friends, who's like one of the graphic designers for Side Pony and so many other, you know, she's just a staple of the scene. Her like from complications, you know, of like a surgery that he had to get. I don't remember if he got COVID or not, but like, you know, it was basically he had to go get a brain surgery and then he had to get a tracheotomy. And then because all the hospital systems are fucked right now, he couldn't get the proper care. So he died. He didn't need to. He was a brilliant, like nice, amazing dude that didn't have to die. But just because he couldn't afford to be treated like a normal human, he's gone. And it's just going to be more and more of us. Like, hopefully it looks like, you know, like I've got someone to co-sign a lease for me, so I'm not going to be homeless at the end of this month. And it looks like my landlord has finally, like, eased up on his crazy bullshit, you know, when I laid some law down on him. But we need to pull everyone together. You know, if we're going to start with entertainment workers and this general strike and reviving this idea that, you know, I started, and not like I invented this idea, but like, you know, this idea of like we all have to go on strike. We all have to organize in our workplaces and learn that we don't need the bosses. They don't do anything. They just pick managers that are well built to abuse us, essentially. Terrorize us psychologically, belittle us, and make us fit in square pegs when we're all triangles. No, that works. Like, but yeah, the peg thing. They're just trying to put pegs where they don't belong and just smash them into place because who fucking cares? You know, work is a private fiefdom. You know, and I'll grant it to like any of the entertainment industry owners that I know. It is one of the few industries where it is a lot, mostly guys who own these production companies started at the bottom and learned all the trade and then did it so they could get their friends more work. But Our unions aren't representing us. Our even the best business owners don't know how to help us, don't know how to help each other because they're stuck in this toxic competitive environment. Especially the arts is supposed to be cooperative. There's a difference between one-upping each other and always trying to like, oh, that guy got that thing. All right, now we got to get this thing, and cutthroat bullshit. And right now we are being forced to be so cutthroat to each other. We can either be profiteers or big jerks to each other about the decisions we make. They're forcing us to divide and survive any way we can, and we're all getting desperate as shit. So we're having to make some really bad decisions. We're stuck between rocks and hard places. So it's time for direct action organized from the ground up. No more of these leadership organizations where there's this group of professionals who, we've been doing this forever. We're the professionals, guys. Trust us. We got this. Like the Squad has been doing. All of these professional groups, Jacobin even. These supposed to be like revolutionary people are constantly saying, hold on. We need a good plan first. But they're not doing any planning because they refuse to plan for any kind of direct action unless it's a last resort. Well, it's last resort time. We're fucking dying. And if we can start by pressuring the people working the inauguration event to walk out on their jobs. So yeah, start up that stream, get that parade rolling, then walk the fuck off. We'll start our own parade. Those of us that can get to DC should go to DC. Those of us that can't travel should organize in our own homes. You just go to City Hall with signs and an intent to tell your story. We will bring PAs. We're entertainment system people. We can figure out PAs. And we just gather and we tell our stories and we refuse to go away until they promise to give us something. $2,000 survival checks a month for every American until this is not fucked anymore. Medicare for all. And yes, we need to roll in the police reforms into this. We need Black Lives Matter on our side because all of this economic shit hits them even harder. The COVID shit hits the black community harder. And it's being put on just the police to handle this stuff. They're not built for this. They're built to take down drug terrorists. And we don't want them handling our unhoused people, our mentally ill people, our friends with mental health issues, our evictions. People shouldn't be getting evicted. There's more homes than people. That's ridiculous. So we need to start standing up ourselves and doing this. There's this fantasy that FDR was just this great guy that said, the people have been grumbling a lot. I think it's time someone did something about it, and I'm that man. No! He was just another fucking rich dude. And he just didn't hate black people. That's what, just like now, qualifies yourself to be a progressive. I'm still a centrist liberal in every way, except I say the nice things. Well, there was a massive labor movement organized by communists, anarchists, and socialists that was liberational. That's not a word. But it was, yeah, I think liberational is a word. Liberational. It was insurrectionary. It was agitated. Wobblies got shot for no reason other than being on a boat and singing fucking songs. But everyone has to start stepping up and pitching in any way you can. You know, if you are high risk for COVID, you can join the caravan because we need safety at these kind of events. So you just drive there in your car and drive around, honk your horn, get a bullhorn, blow out your window. You know, those of us who are angry and willing to risk it need to get out in organized in public and occupy space and refuse to go away, because then they need the police to be there and then they exhaust their police budgets. This is all a big system, a big methodology of direct agitating action that has a proven history of effectiveness that we're all just ignoring. Most of us just weren't taught it. That's okay. But those of us who did learn it and are trying to communicate it are just being treated like idiots and children. And that needs to stop. No one is coming to save us. It is just us. It is just us and on us to band together and figure out how to organize ourselves. There's plenty of groups that have figured out methodologies like the IWW, you know, where it is a membership-driven organizational method. Where, yes, we do have executives who have executive responsibilities, but those people have to be up for vote every year. And those people can be recalled by the membership at any time if they fuck up. You know, so it's an executive body that is responsible and accountable to membership rather than these leadership organizations, cough, cough, Trotskyists, cough, cough, Leninists, where the leadership, the membership is accountable and responsible to the leadership. That vanguard knows better. Wait, be calm, guys. You know, no, it's time to get feet in the streets. It's time to get boots moving. You know, it doesn't need to be violent. Violence will be thrown against us. You need to be prepared for that. You know, the people in power do not want to give it up, but it is time. It is goddamn time they give it up, because they are just not doing anything good with it. They don't know how. They just know how to take care of themselves, and they're destroying the planet. They're killing us off wholesale right now. And you guys aren't going to even be able to afford the super cool concerts when they come back, because you're all going to be broke as us, who are getting washed into the streets as entertainment workers and other just contract workers in general. So, share this, comment, put it in all your groups. I'm going to be making this call to DSA. I'm a good member. I'm a member of good standing there. IWW, support there. Reaching out to all the liberation groups in Phoenix. We need to start this call now. We need to start dramatic action. It's just theater. If we're just weird, crazy pains in the asses, like you guys really loved that Mitch McConnell and Nancy Pelosi shit, didn't you? You know? Yeah, they're going to have a lot of grief about that garage. They're going to be talking about that for a little while. They've ignored all of your phone calls, emails, and tweets. But that garage, Mitch McConnell's going to be fuming about for fucking weeks. You're welcome, liberals. Because that's what us radicals do. We actually do things. And that's what being a radical is about. Doing things rather than waiting for other people to do them for you. And especially thus in the arts community. I'm just embarrassed that we've all sat around and done nothing. And I'm ashamed of the artists that continued playing concerts. Even my friends, you don't know this, but if you've continued playing shows, you're never getting my lighting stuff again. Like, I'm the only guy in town that's affordable to you, and I'm never going to work for you again. Unless you stop now. Only live streams. And they have to benefit the artists and crews first. What else are we going to do? I might be able to make it work as a welder and working on another few trades, but like, I finally made a good living after 2 decades of struggling to work any job that will afford me time and space to find a way to be on or near a stage. Because that's just where I make the most sense. It engages all the weird, fucked up parts of me in a positive way that makes you guys get to have more fun. So I don't know how to put this like less bluntly or more politely, than being like Jimmy Dore and saying like, if you can't get behind this, you're a fucking traitor. You don't care about other people. We need solidarity, and that means no one gets left behind. That's why it's one big union and not pitting other trades against each other. It shouldn't, the tech salaries shouldn't come out of security salaries. It should all come out of the people who are taking the profit and not doing any work anymore. If you actually did build a business from the ground up, us radicals are more than happy to give you a founder's benefit. You step away, you retire. You can do commercials. You can be the voice and face of commercials like Papa John. Except don't do weird fucked up shit like Papa John. And you can still collect a salary that we give you. But we need to build worker cooperatives. We need to kick out the capitalists. And worker cooperatives have always started out of need. And if you look up the Arizmendi bakeries and the Mondragon Corporation, in Spain, in fascist Spain, this little town in the Catalonia region was just abandoned. And so a priest decided, like, we're just going to start giving people jobs. And then we're going to figure out. And it was a worker cooperative. Everyone was an owner. Everyone decided how things were spread and even and distributed. What we were making. Where are we making it? How much are we going to charge for it? Everyone got a chance to participate in that. And we need to start all getting our hands dirty, guys. And not in a legally poorly worded way, but, putting our hands in the mud and getting dirty in the work. Doing direct mutual aid for our friends and neighbors. Not just, hey, here's a link. Like, hey, I made some calls for you. Here's some people you should talk to that can help you and actually get you help right now. Because you give us these links and I still have to go through all the process of like sorting through all the bureaucratic bullshit. I ain't got time for that anymore. Like I'm drowning. I had a great career that was really difficult and took a lot of work to build, and it got taken away from me. I lost my marriage. This is the second home I'm losing. And I've spent most of the last fucking 10 months alone until I started working again, putting up Christmas lights. I forgot to talk to people or how to talk to people. This is part of the reason I started doing the live streams, was so I had a reason to talk to something that wasn't a cat. So we need to put out the call for the people who are working. We need to put pressure on the people who are working to walk out on the inauguration on the 20th. Go, start, get part of your paycheck. You did part of the job, but we have a message that we need to send. And we're not going to do their dirty work if they're not going to take care of us at all. If this is the ugly face of capitalism, it's time for us to stand up and tell it to fuck off. Get out of here. You're not invited to the party anymore. You've been hogging the chips and dip for the last 400 years. It's our party now. And we want to sing and dance and have fun. And if you're in charge, that's not going to happen for most of us. So, stay tuned. If you're an editor, please contact me so I edit this down to the good parts, and we'll start making a more refined call to action. But, we're going to start with a town hall. And I'm excited. It's time for action. It's time for our voices to be heard from the bottom of the heart of America. That's what all of us are. The essential workers, the heart and soul of America is fucking dying. Literally right now. And it's time for us to do something about it. Yeah, I know, Taco. I know. There's not a whole much else I can say about it. Yeah. Fat Girl is singing. So we're going to call it a show for today. And share this and get your friends to like this. Our page, Budding Radicals, our YouTube, our Twitch, whatever your preferred streaming service is. And let's spread this call as fast as we can. Hashtag unseen but not forgotten. Because that's what us in the backstage are. We're the unseen heroes of fun and amazement. Everything amazing we put together. And we do it 30 hours a day. And we'll gladly keep doing it 30 hours a day as long as it's safe. And as long as it works for everybody. Not just a few people. I'm not doing concerts if it's just rich people that can afford to go to them. Because it's only affordable to do socially distanced concerts if tickets are $600. So that's where we're headed if this goes further. So use our voices, guys. Whatever we can do and start stepping up. You guys, we have to be prepared to be uncomfortable and get out of our comfort zone and do things that might put us in danger. I'm putting my name on the line. I am on fucking lists right now, I assure you. But I don't care anymore. Whatever future I see is bleak. From my dream career being snagged away from me at the last minute. Right as I was going to be able to afford to see my wife again after a year of not seeing her while we were figuring out immigration. And it's all gone. So I don't care what happens to me anymore. I want to do anything I can that's going to ameliorate the suffering of other people. Because if we don't just start helping the people nearest to us right now in any capacity that we can, we're just going to lose so many more people. And I'm not down for that. I'm just not down for that. So whatever I have to do, whatever ways I need to sacrifice my body, that's what I'm up for. And I hope you guys are starting to get ready for that too. Because if we don't start doing the hard, uncomfortable work of direct aid, direct action, direct organization of our communities, our friends and neighbors, our workplaces, we have to take control of these things again. Not land developers, not bankers, not foreign investors. You know, all of these people that take all the money and do none of the work. Their time is done. It needs to be done. So, thank you, Budding Radicals, and I hope you'll join me next week.